All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the landscape of the super welterweight division in the sport of boxing at 154 pounds. So, guys, this division is honestly starting to heat up. Business is about to be booming. And honestly, I think 154, the super welterweight division, is the best division in the sport of boxing today. Right now, it's the best division in the sport of boxing. And just like I said a few moments ago, business is definitely about to pick up. And you have the champions here, Xander Zayas, who has quickly collected 2 world titles. He's now the new unified 154-pound champion, the WBA, and the WBO super welterweight champion after his victory a weekend ago, and just was a part of the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime performance. Congratulations to him. But he's a unified champion here now. You have Sebastian Fundora, that's still the WBC champion here, and he will be defending his WBC title against Keith Thurman in March. You have Josh Kelly, who just defeated the boogeyman of the 154-pound division in Bahrain to become the IBF champion a weekend ago. Won that fight by split decision. Ain't even scored a knockdown against Bahrain. And then you got the outsiders that's not holding world titles. You got Jaron Ennis. You got Virgil Ortiz. You got Tim Tszyu. You got Israel Madrimov. You got Earl Spence back in the mix. And you got Jermell Charlo, that is a former undisputed champion, the only undisputed champ that the 154-pound division has ever seen in boxing history. So this division is clearly about to heat up. I think it's the best in the sport. And there's so many big fights here, guys. You got Jaron Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. That's very close of being made finalized. And I think that fight sells, and it's the biggest fight in the division without any world title implications. 2 fighters in the prime of their careers, undefeated, can literally put on a show, and I think someone would get knocked out in that fight. But then you look at Earl Spence. The announcement came today that he will be returning to the sport this summer to fight Tim Tszyu at 154. You got Jermell Charlo, a former undisputed champion. If he could get himself together, could get back in the mix to get a title fight, a title opportunity. But guys, I think this division is the most stacked and will be the most competitive division in the sport. And we're just in the beginning part of this division, the new chapter at 154. I think there's so many big fights that are going to be made, so many questions that are going to be answered by the end of 2026, and we'll eventually find out who is the real king of this division. But looking at Xander Zayas, what he could possibly do next, he could possibly unify against Josh Kelly to possibly bring the IBF title with him. Why not? I mean, at this point, everybody else is occupied. Big money fights everywhere. Why not go after IBF champion Josh Kelly? You're looking at Sebastian Fundora. He could possibly be defending his title against, or he will be defending his title against Keith Thurman. But I honestly think the way how the WBC could do business and the PBC could do business, he could be eyeing the winner of Earl Spence and Tim Tszyu this summer. Well, really, Earl Spence if he wins the fight, because he already defeated Tim Tszyu twice. But if Earl Spence defeats Tim Tszyu this summer, I think Sebastian Fundora can have his eyes on Earl Spence for giving him a world title opportunity at 154. There's plenty of 50-50 fights here, guys. We're going to find out who the best is in this division. But if I had a track, based off their track record right now, these are the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters at 154. And I'm just saying, at this particular weight class right now, top 5 right now, not overall, just in the weight class. So one, I would go with Sebastian Fundora. He's been here for a while now, and he's the WBC champion. I think he has the best resume here, defeating Tim Tszyu twice. And looks like an unbreakable force right now with the jab. He's like a cheat code, he's like 6'4", 6'5", with fighting well in the range with the jab. Like, you can't get in the inside on him. And I think based off of everything they could do, being a counter puncher, a powerful puncher, and making adjustments in between rounds, you got to say he's the best right now. Number 2, I would honestly have to say Virgil Ortiz Jr. at number 2, because he's the interim champion here, never been a world champion, but his resume is pretty impressive here, guys. Like, he's defeated Israel Madrimov, made that performance look easier than Terrence Crawford being in the ring with Israel Madrimov 2 years ago. So I thought that proved to me why he could be the number 2. Plus, he knocked out Erickson Lubin in like 2 rounds in his latest boxing performance. So I think number 2 is a great spot. You could go Alexander Zayas number 3. Now, what do you guys want to say about him or not? He is the unified champion, the only unified champion of this division, WBO and WBA champion. So put him here. I think that's a good spot. 4, I want to put Jaron Ennis higher, but he's only had 1 performance in this division and actually only had 1 round in this division because he won his fight by first round knockout the last time we seen him in the ring. And Josh Kelly, the new IBF champion, I do believe he deserves to be number 5 based off defeating Bakarin. In my opinion, the boogeyman of 150, the previous boogeyman of 154. So I think 154 is going to be one hell of a division. Right now, in my opinion, the best division that the sport of boxing has to offer. It's definitely going to pick up in 2026, but those are my thoughts on the landscape of this super welterweight division in the sport of boxing today.